guest of all time. But again, welcome to the Paddock Pat Show, where we talk about your newest favorite racetrack, Charlestown in West Virginia. We're joined by a top five jockey at the track, top four really, and top three in earnings, which is what probably really matters. Justin Lewis, what do you got to say to the people? How's the day going?
I just want to say hello, Just an average Joe Blow guy, trying to make a living.
Hey, amen. And you're doing that all right this year. But first of all, what do you got to say to the fans out there, to your fans out there, or people maybe just getting to know you? What do you got to say to the people out there?
Honestly, not much, just hard working. Just put your head down and work and keep grinding, Have faith in God and, one day, your break will come and stuff will happen.
And definitely want to get to the faith. Obviously, God's so important, and especially important in your line of work. But what do you got to say about God and your faith, maybe in your life? Maybe tell us a little more about that.
For sure. You definitely I pray for safety all the time, it's always a dangerous job, and doors are gonna shut and opportunities are gonna open up, and when doors shut you can feel a little down, but you gotta keep praying, because what God got for you no man can take away. So, you know.
Amen to that. And obviously, we got Easter coming up, so no
I know I
shout God.
love Easter.
We're all just trying to make it to the winner's circle. But for you, when you're looking at Charlestown, obviously you want to shed the light more about the great Charlestown. But when you're looking at that jockeys room, I know we've talked about playing other sports. Who are some of the best overall athletes just in the jockey at Charlestown?
I think overall athletes other than just like riding horses.
Yes.
Uh, my brother Alexis Rios Conde Jr. He's super athletic. Who else is like? None of them really jump off the top. Him, I mean, he's like super strong and athletic, but I don't know. Most of them just good at riding, honestly. Oh, Angel Cruz. My bad, brain fart. Angel Cruz, JD Acosta. Um, yeah, it's all the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah,
Well,
honestly, you'd be surprised. A lot of them in there. Not gonna say names, but they're not the most athletic. And
it really is amazing seeing people who play other sports try, or people who are really good at one sport try another sport. I'm like, are you what is wrong with you? Like some people, what would you say maybe some of your best sports that people wouldn't even know, or in some of your worst sports where you're like, man, golf, I'm horrible, ping pong, I'm amazing?
I'm super fast.
Or,
So track, I was always good. I went to college for it. Football, I love football. I'm really good at that. Basketball, I'm good at. I'm just short. 5'5" don't help you. Baseball, I was good at that. It's a team sport, so like, if your team sucks, you're really kind of screwed. Soccer, I'm really fast, but I just not best with the dribbling. Puerto Ricans and everybody got me in that sport. What's another sport? No, I can pretty much do everything.
what about snow ski or snowboard?
Oh, brother, that don't even tickle my fancy. I never attempted it.
I feel like you'd be going straight down. But no, when you were growing up, is there any examples of like you being like super competitive, or you're like, oh my gosh, like you could just feel it yourself, like being competitive, whether it's a board game or whether it's with your siblings. Talk us about that. Maybe growing up, your competitive nature side.
Oh, and everything. Very competitive. Like, my two brothers, they're very successful. Like, I'm like in a race with them. Not really, because they got years on me, but like I'm in a race with them. They got houses and stuff, and like I'm like sort of like backtracking behind them, trying to catch up to them, talking about in competitiveness in life. But as a kid, I was always competitive. I always played sports. Like, it's just for fun. No, it's not for fun. I'm trying to win. But yeah, it is for fun in a sense. But I'm always trying to win. Board games, anything. Who wants to lose?
No, and you always want to win at everything. And again, how are you? Just so people even know. I mean, again, you went to college. Again, just so brave just to leave after 1 year. Maybe talk to the world about Justin Lewis as a student. Were you competitive as a student? Did you want to do well in that, or is it you're just doing well enough in school so you could play sports?
I was always very smart, but sports kept me in it. You know, I was very smart. I was on the dean's list. Always honor roll student, very smart, but it was really just sports that kept me in it, honestly, because I had to go to school a certain amount of days to even join the team and whatever. That's what kept me in it. But I was very smart. I always was honor roll, everything.
Come on. And I always think like your classes were just game or your tests were just game day of your classes. I coach a little middle school basketball team, and some of these kids are failing their classes and they can't play middle school basketball. I'm like, how are you failing basic science? But again, it's just some people are just wired a little bit differently. But again, I guess talk to again. I don't want to get too much into the journey because I want to get into the mindset of you as a jockey and even at Charlestown. But talk to the people and even just myself about really just that leap of faith, leaving school, after just your freshman year, and committing to something full time. I mean, that takes some faith. I mean, again, did you pray about it, or not to go on that path too much either? But talk about that time in your life when you really wanted to commit to being a jockey, because there's not that many American jockeys out there. I feel like
Yeah,
at all.
and there's not many jockey schools in America to really help us out. But it was what was it, the summer after the year ended. I went up to see my dad up in Florida. He was in Ocala again with the Rice family. They were pinhooking, and I went up there. They treated me very well. They paid me well for a lot of nothing. I'll be honest. They just wanted to help me out because I was my dad's son. They just want to help me out and give me some money for the summer. College kid, you usually don't have a lot of money, whatever. And I appreciate them for that very much. But when I got up there, like my love for horses, I wouldn't say came back. It would just I was in the environment again. It's been a while since I've been in the environment. So after that, I come home and I tell my mom, "Mom, I don't want to go to school no more. I want to ride." But she always knew I wanted to ride. But I thought my dad would teach me eventually, but that never came into fruition. So mom, a superhero. She was like, "All right, you got to go all in if you want to do it. You got to go all in." I said, "Oh, I'm all in. I'm done with school. I don't want to do that no more." You know, I only did it because track, but then it was a COVID year, so I didn't even get to run track that year. So I was just like, I don't think I want to do this no more. But if I had to do it, I would have finished it. But my mom found a farm, and she said, "We'll pray on it." And then she found a farm, old family friend. He teaches show jumping and all that. His name's Frankie Carpenter or Carpenter, something like that. He's up in Martinsburg, and he taught me how to ride. Great hands and everything. Never got to touch the horse's mouth, show jumping and stuff. He's a very good teacher. And then after that, I progressed to the next step. I went out to Middleburg with Madison Myers and Aaron Norris, and they polished me up on the track, with nice babies, and they helped me out. And then after that, I went to Laurel. The next step went to Laurel. I worked for who was it? I worked for John Robb, Salzman, a whole bunch of people up there. And after that, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go to Charlestown. I'm done making this trip because my mom wanted me to learn the right way, everything in Laurel. Charlestown has a bad name around it, how they rush horses and stuff, blah 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 blah. I don't know why, whatever, but everybody just gives it a bad rep, which I don't know. It's whatever. So I come down to Charlestown and I get with agent Steve Paris. He hooks me up with Jeff Ronco. I only broke out the gate 3 times live before I got my gate card. Jeff Franco helped me out, but he didn't know that. Nobody knew that. Not even the gate person. They always ask you, "How many times did you break out of the gate?" I said, "Hundreds of times, of course." Faked it till I made it. In the morning, it's easy to break out the gate. Sissy strap, whatever. Hold on, go. It's easy. At nighttime was a little different. I got exposed a little bit, but it was only like 4 races. I broke in their mouth, whatever. It's to be expected. American rider didn't go to he wasn't from Puerto Rico. He wasn't in the jock school, whatever. So to be expected. Jeff Ronco stuck with me, and we had a pretty good year that year.
Man, what a run! And thank you for going through that. I mean, for those that don't know, obviously this is a Charlestown specific, show. Millions of fans here. No, but again, for those that don't know, tell the people a little bit about Jeff Runco and maybe getting that start with him. And before you do that, I just want to say shout out Linda Rice. I absolutely love Linda. If I ever get to meet her, I would love just to give her a hug and just tell her I love her. And I was talking about owning horses with her, but the prices in New York are insane. So Again, it was
Right.
maybe a couple more wins here, but and we'll get to Linda. Well, she's having a great year. But talk to people just about Jeff Runco and maybe how he's impacted your life. But just talk to people about how legendary he is.
Jeff Ronco is such a very nice guy. Like some people that don't know him, they'll say things about him like he's a dick or whatever. But when you really get to know Jeff Ronco, he's a very helping guy. Like he helped my career and everything. Like, and if I would ever need to go back for anything, Jeff Ronco, he would do whatever. Like anything in his power to help me. Like he never mind, but he would do anything in his power to help the people that work for him and that he cares about. He's really a great guy, and he helped me. He helped slingshot my career as a young rider.
Let's go. And it takes two to tango, and obviously you did too. It seems like again you passed over it, and you give a lot of credit to Frankie for teaching you to ride. I mean, again, just talk to myself even about what is the difference between that and like official jockey school that most jockeys get, whether it's in Puerto Rico. I mean, again, it seems like you made the most of that little opportunity. It sounds like it was not necessarily the most official training. I mean, what was that like, and what's the difference between that and like official jockey school?
Oh, I can only speak on my experiences. I'd never been to official jockey school, but the whole time I knew I was he was teaching me show horse etiquette, but it would translate over into the racing world, the good hands and not to catch them in the mouth, and stuff like that. And when he was teaching me, I was always in the back of my mind thinking about how this would translate over into riding races and stuff. And got me a really good seat. I used to jump too, so like nothing really scared me. So when I was at the racetrack, that's my puppy in the background, but nothing really scared me. So when I was at the racetrack and when horses would get to jumping and leaping, like I would just sort of giggle, because like I'm already used to them being off the ground and stuff. And also in Middleburg, Karen Norris and Madison Myers, we used to take the babies out in the field, and we used to go jumping the logs and stuff, and we used to go trail riding back there. So like I always had a really good seat on the horse, like from the beginning up.
That's got to be a little bit scary, leaving the ground with that, on that big animal. But you think something like that, just like dealing in the show jumping world, really has helped you in the racing world?
Yes, it's helped tremendously, like with your seat, your balance. It's a lot of core because they don't ride high. Us riders, like who ride racehorses, most of us, I can only speak for me, but I ride high. Takes less leg, honestly. But when you're riding show horses, you got to ride long and you got to put your heels down and wrap your heels around the horse's stomach, and you got to hold them together. It's a lot about posture because they don't like show horses. They don't want to see your hands moving. The show horse people, no, they want your hands like this. It's a lot of body language.
And I heard again, I like to watch a lot of races. It seems like racing is not necessarily the best for your back posture. Is there anything sore on you right now, or what is your back? What does it do to your back?
I had a couple spills this year, so like my lower back, it always hurts. Cutting weight and whatever. You take a lot of water out of your spine, but yeah, no, it's definitely rough on your back because when a horse jolts, you ever see the rider like they're behind the motion and it takes their spine with them. Like, so your back definitely takes a lot of whiplash and stuff, and you're bent over the whole time. I mean, it can't be good for your back. But yeah, no, your back will definitely hurt. You definitely want to go to a chiropractor or get massages and stuff. Yeah, it definitely takes a toll on your back. My father, he rode for a long time, and yeah, I could see it on him.
Lose an inch or two, but at some point when if the horse is going kind of crazy, do you want to just fall off, or would you, or is it better to like stay on at all cost? I mean, what do you? Is there a time where you're like, oh God, I got to go down because I'm like on the side? Like, I've seen some
uh,
jockeys things though.
Me, I always want to stay on, but I understand there's a point of no return. Like once a horse has his mind set up and he wants to get dangerous and don't care about hurting himself, then if he don't care about hurting himself, then brother, I promise he don't care about you on his back. So like you just gotta give and take, and there's the past experiences like you lean on. But I always try to stay calm, cool, collected. But when I feel like I have zero control anymore, and I feel like this one's trying to hurt me and don't care about herself, yeah, I'll bail.
And,
I'm just being real. I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna protect me.
man, sometimes it goes crazy in the gate. I guess can you feel? a horse that's about to act up? Like I feel like sometimes I see a jockey like stand up and look over and then it kind of acts up. Like have you become like a pro at kind of like feeling when something's he's about to go crazy in the gate? Are you pretty good at feeling for that?
Oh, for sure. And a little deeper on that, like you're on top of the horse, you can feel everything. His legs, you can feel everything when they hit the ground. You can feel if they're off or whatever. You feel everything, and then your legs are wrapped around his rib cage and stuff, where his heart is beating. You feel his heart beating out of his chest. Da-doom, 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 da-doom. You can tell most of the time when they're gonna freak out and react, but sometimes most of them just stay calm, cool, and collective under pressure, even though feel their heart just da-doom, da-doom, da-doom. You feel like they're gonna do it. Most of them are just stay collective and they're like professionals, but some, whoop, right back on you.
So you're saying like when everything is clicking though, it is like a special feeling. Like you're like feeling like you're like in sync with the heartbeat, like the
Oh, for
breathing.
sure. Oh yeah, you can feel everything. You feel when like you can't like assume how they're going to react, but you're like, his heart's beating pretty hard, and he's been still for a good minute. And I feel like he's about to do something, but I just always have faith in my abilities. So if he was to flip, or say the horse was to flip in the gate and his heart's beating out his chest, I have faith in my abilities to react quick enough. I'm not going to jump off before he does something. That's just going to make you look a little weird. But I just go on the go, whatever. Let your body take over and overdrive.
And even your mind's probably working in overdrive too. But again, jumping a little bit ahead and just in my questions, but what's like an underrated position that you're like dealing with? Because like, again, I see like you walk out with like a pony. There's like again the trainer, assistant trainer in the paddock, the gate crew, which those guys got to be even crazy too. But who are some of the most underrated people that you're kind of like that you would give credit to make sure the races go smooth or things go smooth for you?
Underrated. First off, the grooms. That's even before we get there. The grooms are very underrated. Like a good groom goes a long way. Stake your grooms. Get good ones. A good groom goes a long way. Horse can't even get there without feet. Who takes care of the feet? The groom. The blacksmith. You need a blacksmith. They're very underrated too. But I say the gate crew. The gate crew will save your life. A good gate person will save your life.
Young, and they're like young, old. They're like I've seen guys with
Yeah,
bad
no,
hip.
they're a mixed bag of tricks in there. You never know. But and I forget about there's so many, honestly. I feel bad for just saying the gate crew, but a good pony is everything. I'm telling you, a good pony will save you.
And I can feel the genuineness in that.
Yeah.
And even the gate crew saving your life. Have you ever seen a gate crew member injured themselves? For
Yeah. Yeah. They get kicked all the time back there. I mean, like they're like the unsung heroes too. They get kicked, they get bitten, like horse headbutts them in there just like they mess us up, you know. But nobody ever sees that. It's like sort of behind the scenes. They don't really zoom into the gate. Like you see the break, but they don't see everything behind there.
hey, that's what makes it kind of a fun. That's why even horse racing, there's a lot to it. Sometimes on TV, when I like it when they like accidentally catch the audio of the gate crew. Sometimes they're like
Hmm.
they seem like just like normal guys. Do you? I mean, is the job turnover pretty big with them, or have the gate crew people mostly been the same since you've been there?
Um, it's usually the same, but they added some new faces because we were short staffed for a minute. So I've seen some new faces. There hasn't been any moments where I had to break out the gate by myself in like a couple months, like without somebody on your head, which isn't supposed to happen. But
Yeah.
that's another story. But yeah, no, they got the crew now, not short staffed or anything.
Does gate person always like he's always on number one or she's always on number two? Is it the same or do they switch up the gate positions?
I'm pretty sure they switch it up. I should know this, but I'm pretty sure they switch it up.
Exciting for them. Sometimes they like fling out of there, but
And they put like certain people on like horses that they would compliment, like a stronger person on a stronger, like more high energy horse who can be a prick.
there was one horse I swear they had like the gate crew guy had to like run the whole length of the stretch like holding the horse.
I
You
know
could
I rode the horse.
no way.
Yeah.
I don't know of it, but that like what do you how do you get there? Do you have to walk there yourself, or you get the golf cart ride, or how do you get to the gate?
Uh, what's his face? They picked me up on that one, so I didn't have to walk the whole back stretch. But her name was Miss Bebop.
I think you won.
I
I
did.
think
She did win. She
Now
did.
that's a pretty crazy story. I mean, because I don't know like why and not to even just randomly ask about that, but why does a horse have to run the whole backstretch without a person on it, but then is like ready to go in the gate, or just
I
horses?
I couldn't tell you, brother. Horses have a mind of their own. Like when you're in sync, it's the best. But when they want to refuse or do their own thing, that's almost 1,200 pounds. 1,200 pounds of dead weight. So you better be nice and encourage them the best way you can, because they really don't want to do it. They will not.
And hopefully I can keep this thing going. I know I'll probably take too much of your time here.
Nah, you're a good brother.
And But what do you think of a Laurel track closing? I mean, again, that was one of my first tracks I ever went to. Arguably one of my favorite tracks. That's one that was closest to me here in North Carolina. But what do you think of Laurel closing? Bittersweet, or any feelings for that?
I think it's unfortunate because I like Olaro in the location. I really don't like Pimlico. It's in the hood. Not gonna lie. Pimlico's dead set in the middle of Baltimore, so like that being the pinnacle of like Maryland racing now is sort of like unless they like do something with the surrounding areas like Pimlico. Mm.
I still think it is crazy that they're having the Preakness at Laurel
I
this
do.
year.
I think that is crazy. I think it might be super nice though. I like Laurel. It's a very nice track. Like they're very kid friendly too. I mean, not for the Preakness, but they're very like family oriented and kid friendly. So I think it'll be really nice. I think they're only. I think I seen they're only having like 4,800 people out there though.
I,
That's
I went
like
to the I went to the Derby last year, and there was like 100,000 people, and it was like soaking wet. So,
yeah, no,
um,
it's crazy.
but I hope that I've never seen Laurel that packed at all. So there we go. But going back into Charlestown really quickly. Obviously, again, Boca has just been dominating there. You're right there, neck and neck. You beat him a lot. I mean, but he's obviously been great over the last couple of years. What do you think makes a jockey like Boca, so great at Charlestown, and what makes them stay at Charlestown? Kind of like you, is it hard to leave Charlestown? Do you like it if things are going well? But I talked to the world about maybe Boca's success. Even though that's your rival, I'm sure that's your rival. You want to kick his ass every single time. But what makes him great? Because I'm always seeing him make these turns and like he's like balling around the turn. He cuts it so well. But what do you think makes him great?
The work ethic. First off, the work ethic to have all them barns come in every day. Because once you're on top, the work ethic can die. You can get lazy and stagnant. The man comes in and works just like everybody. He's one of the hardest workers. He has the relationship with everybody. He's been riding for these people for years. And you need I mean, as part of being a good athlete, you need the horses too. And he has the horses. So he has a phenomenal jockey, and I take nothing away from him. Me and him are really good friends, like really good friends. I take nothing away from him. He's a very good rider. So.
And sometimes I think people can, even myself, like, hey, he's a little bit, quiet, but maybe he's just on to the next. What is
He's
what
very
is
he's very humble. People might not know that about him, but he's very humble. Like I root for the guy. You can't not root for the guy. He's one of the nicest, sweetest guys I know.
and he seems to just dominate. And again, shout out him for even sticking with Charlestown. And he's kind of one of the original legends, and maybe even on the Mount Rushmore um, of Charlestown. But I guess even talking about just horses, what they can just vary so much. One day you can beat Boca, one day you can lose to him by 100 lengths. But why do you think a horse runs so well one time and then one time runs so badly? I'm trying to figure that out as an owner myself. Like, how can they just really have like crazy different swings as in a race?
Oh, it's just different. Like some horses, if you look at their form, they'll run a good race, bad race, good race, bad race, and sometimes it's a time in between races. You know, it just depends. They're animals. Like they got their own mind, just like we do. Like we don't know if they're feeling bad. Their stomach hurts that day. They're off that day. They can't give us these signals. Like sometimes you can tell, but most of the time you can't. They can't speak, so you don't know if they're like having an off day. Maybe he had a headache. You don't know, honestly. So
And that's kind of
sometimes if you rode a horse enough, you can go off their energy. You're like, he's just not feeling it today, and that's what you like. You have that relationship with the trainer, and you tell him.
even can make a horse racing special. I mean, what is one of your, I guess, even like a pitch to horse racing? Like, what do you love about it? Like, it seems like some jockeys, like right when you get with the pony, you're like in the zone, you like start connecting like on a deeper level. I don't want to get, I don't know if it's that deep, but what is it like, when you have that like 5 to 7 minutes with yourself and the horse before the race? Like, is that one of your favorite parts about horse racing, or what do you love about it?
Oh, you're so the question is, what is my favorite part about horse racing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. It might sound off the wall, but sitting in the grandstand listening to the hooves as they break out the gate. That's the best part. It's the best part is actually being on the sideline watching. That's the best part. The hooves when they rumble, like the rumble that it makes, that
Mhm.
sound on the slop and everything. That's the best part to me. But if I'd say riding, probably the best two parts coming out of the gate. That's a pretty cool part. That still gives me a little bit of adrenaline rush. And winning, like who doesn't love to win? Winning feels great.
And getting paid to win. I play adult kickball, and I win, and you have to go pay for your own beer afterwards. The last, even just a couple questions, kind of a funny one, but is there anyone that you remember of like the worst objection ever called with you, and what is it like in the jockeys room? After you get a terrible objection called against you, you're like, what the heck? Do you have to settle it? Again, that could be a tough question, but what do you think about the objections, and maybe a bad one that comes to mind, and how you guys handle it in the jocks room? Just thinking.
I'm trying. It's been so long since I've had an objection called on me. Knock on wood. I can tell you like what happens and stuff, but I can't even think of one that like comes to mind where I got took down where I was mad. But like, yeah, no. If it was like bad or something, or two jockeys already have a riff when they get in the jock room, just in-house stuff. Just in-house stuff. That's the best way I can describe it without outing anything. Just in-house stuff. You know.
Is it probably the smartest for the jockeys to all be in the same room? Do you think there would be more fouls if they all had you guys like in separate rooms? Like, do you think the fact that you have to like walk back into the room like makes you not, or treat the other jockeys a little bit better? Or I don't know. I don't know what that experience is like, because usually when you're playing sports, the other team is in the other locker room, not
Yeah.
right.
Mm. No, I definitely get where you're going with that. I think it's good that you have to literally walk back and see that man after you like said he did something or whatever. I think it's good you have to face him and then you have to talk to the stewards on the phone right in front of him and as you're bashing him. I think it's good. So you got to man up and eat all that and whatever comes afterwards is on you. I think it's good. Nut up or shut up.
Let's go. And but again, at Charlestown, again, going back to specific, questions for that, it's a short track, again, dirt is like always in your face. How do you stay clean? And this is kind of, again, a random question just from my mind, but how do you stay clean after every race? Again, you're eating dirt. You don't have that much time, I guess, between races. But if you've just had a race where all this mud is all over you, what do you do in the next, 20 minutes ready for the next race?
All right. Usually, nowadays they make these shields, like so it protects your first layer of goggles before you even got to start using your goggles. So most of the time we use shields, and then we go to our goggles, put the shield over our goggles. So that sort of mitigates some of the dirt in your face. So if you're on the front runner, you don't even get dirty. You're good. But when you come back to the room, per se, if you just ate a whole bunch of mud, you gotta thing of hot water with a sponge in it, sponge off your face real quick, whatever, get it out your teeth, mouth, whatever. It gets everywhere. It burns your eyes. Nobody knows that, but it burns your eyes terribly. Like you'll be crying. It burns your eyes terribly. But sponge off real quick. Throw some more Vaseline on your face so the dirt don't like just hit you. It slides, and don't cut you because the dirt it's got rock chunks in it and everything. It'll chip your teeth, whatever. Put fragments in your face. Whatever. Throw in some new jockey pants. If the dirt came back so hard it went through your undershirt, put a new undershirt on and whatever. And your valets and stuff, clean your boots. But most of us guys were like divas, so we got a bunch of boots, bunch of pants, everything, a million helmets, a million goggles, everything. So if you're a diva, I don't know, I'm a diva.
No, you gotta look a little bit good.
I
Do
look
you
the part.
do you have a favorite silk, or even favorite post position color? You're like, ooh, that like position one red looks amazing, or that paddock pat silk looks beautiful. I don't know if there's a silk that comes to mind.
No, there's not a silk that comes to mind, but speed silks. Please buy speed silks. Nobody wants them baggy parachute silks. Like they're disgusting.
I
There
remember
is.
I remember my very first race as an owner. We had to use the Charlestown house silks, and it seemed like it was a parachute. So, like, but do you agree? You think those are like not good? Because
They're the
I was like,
worst. Like they phased out the game. Like that's the old people stuff. They phased out so long ago. Like please, just spend $200 and get some speed silks. Nobody wants to be parachuted. The wind, you getting down the ride, the wind's just blowing you. It's not aerodynamic at all. Come on.
come on now. But I guess last couple of things. Again, you are probably one of the more brave people. Again, you're a professional athlete. Again, it's pretty impressive. But what is an injury of yours in your mind that you're like, man, this one actually sucked? Because every time I'm messaging you, you're like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. I'm all right. I'm fighting through. But is there an injury that you're like, this one sucked? I don't know if what is one that really bothered Justin Lewis.
Uh, Always the lower back. Like it's so hard to avoid like messing up your back when you fall or something. The lower back always hurts because like it triggers my sciatic and the bulging disc in my back, so it triggers my sciatic. And like when you go to get down the ride, it burns all the way down my right side. That one sucks. Shoulder injuries suck. Shoulder injuries suck because when you go to cock the stick and hit them, and you feel it every time. Those ones suck. That's about it. There's the ones I don't know. I've been pretty lucky. I haven't broke any bones or anything. God bless. But I've been pretty lucky, to say the least.
And I've seen it's like Gerald maybe got injured in the paddock. Like, can you? I mean, you've probably seen it all though. Like, I mean, people and jockeys and the horse can get injured anywhere and everywhere. Is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like it's actually crazy. I don't think about all the like risks and stuff, but when you think about it, they get injured everywhere. The horse can take a bad step. Horse can like I don't know, they're big fragile animals, so they can get injured. The riders can get injured. Stuff is freak accidents happen, man.
And they do happen in a regular sports too. So again, it is sadly sometimes part of it. But how would you best change Charlestown? Again, I would love to sometime one day see like more like braces on the legs, but maybe that cuts up everything. But how would you change Charlestown or improve Charlestown at all? Is there anything that comes to mind how you would improve if you had I guess kind of if you were in charge for a day?
That's like a hard one to answer because I don't want to step on anybody's toes or saying they're doing a bad job. But I remember as a kid, day racing like that got us out the house. Like it gave us something to do. Like go back to like 5 p.m. post or something like that. Day racing was just fun. What are you doing? We're going to the races. Come on, come on. Like I remember that as a kid. That was fun. I like day racing, but it's management and stuff. It's above my pay grade. I don't know. I just ride horses, dumb little pinhead.
Like it's quiet. I would love to have like music blare and like have that little vibe
Yeah.
there. Do you have a post race song or a winning song that you would play? A little walkout song or a walk back into the jockey's room song?
Mm. No, I wouldn't. I'm real quiet. I don't really brag or nothing unless it's like to my people and the riders in the jocks room that like I know I can. So like I'm just real quiet. You might get a woo
Let's
every now
go.
and then. You might get every now and then just to like piss somebody off if I catch them at the wire or something, or I walk in the jocks room every now and then. It gets boring. Like sometimes it's like a jock room is a family, but every now and then you got to shake it up. You got to get the competitive juices going. So like, you catch somebody right at the wire. And you look over at them, hit them with a stare. Don't do too much, that makes you fiery inside. Somebody stare you down after the line, like it's not much. It's just a subtle amount of showboating. Oh, that turns you up.
Woo. No, hey, but
Uh,
you live for some of those moments. But you had a race, coming down. I felt like you were so far away with Oscar. I think he's even racing here the next couple of days. Do you remember that race? And do you have any other races that come to mind where you were like so far behind and you like even surprised yourself that you caught him? Because if anyone wants to check out that Oscar race where he came back, it was insane. But I guess what is that like? And maybe if you describe a little bit of that race, if you remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that one vividly. That was like one of my first couple of races back when I just came back to ride and broke slow. Didn't like the dirt in her face, so I had to like keep her sort of wide without going too wide and like losing terrible amounts of ground. But she wasn't going good when the dirt was hitting her. She was climbing, so I just breached out a little bit. And she was going good on the outside, and she liked it. She didn't like the kickback at all. So I was like, on the turn, I hit her a couple times, maybe one or two, whatever, and she took off. And I was like, I looked up, I was like, they're not that far away, and the way she's flying, we can catch them. And then finally get them at the line. It's always good.
It
But
was
like,
like, go ahead.
no, you're good, brother. Go.
I was saying that was like it's frantic there, and that is like an awesome feeling. It's like in basketball, like those last couple of plays.
Oh,
But
yeah.
at all at the clocks, like the quarter time, like oh, I can catch them a little bit more, or are you not even able to like look up and look around too well when you're on the horse?
Oh, you can definitely look up and look around, but you're not really going to look at the clock too much because, I mean, jockeys can tell you how most of us that are good. You can tell how fast you're going a quarter. You can tell what you're clipping in. You can tell how fast you went at the half. Like, if you got a clock, you can tell how fast you're going, and you can feel the horse. But most riders, they can tell you if they can catch them or not. Or like if they're in the race closing and they're back and off the field of the horse, and they look up, they can tell you if they can catch them or not. You know if you're gonna catch them. Like you're like, I can. Like sometimes you're like, I can make it close. I can get second or third, but that winner's too far away. But you know when you can get them or not.
I mean, it seems like you do enjoy it. Do you like at the end of the day, are you enjoying what you're doing? Because like there are so many jobs, Justin, that absolutely suck out there. Like that the corporate world is brutal. Like maybe this is even way better than like what your college degree would have been. So shout out God. But are you enjoying it, or is it just a means to an end at all? Like when you're out there, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy riding. I don't enjoy the process to get to riding. The process to get to riding, the cutting weight, the galloping all morning, whatever, that I don't enjoy that. I'm not gonna lie. It's something you gotta do to get there. So, you just gotta shut up and eat it. But I enjoy riding races. I don't enjoy the process.
Well, LeBron probably doesn't enjoy his,
Exactly. So,
his
you gotta deal with some suck for the goodness.
but when he's doing that alley oop, when you got that big catch at the and something I really want to ask too, like just so people actually know, like how much better are you than like an average, like somebody who just gets on a horse, like how much better are you than them? Like I
Like
don't
an
even know how
average blow.
like but a person who could actually ride a horse, maybe even like a trail rider, but if they could just get on a horse and they're in the gate, how much better are you than them? If you're the horses equal, how much better are you than them? Because you're just more brave. What makes you better than just a normal horse rider?
Just a normal horse ride, not a jockey. What makes us better?
Yes,
We have more heart.
let's
We're
go.
more, we're more athletic. We're going to be lighter than you, so we're usually most of the time going to beat you. Like it's the different branches of riding come from most of this the heart. Like there's some people that say I wanted to be a jockey, but blah 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 blah. Nah, this is what you need. You can lose it. You can lose a bunch of weight, but you need this.
So when people are, you probably see a lot of people who are, oh, they gallop, oh, let's try racing, but they get into the, what is the top thing that scares people away from like, oh my God, I'm never coming back to being a jockey? And then you're like, well, I'm going to stay in it because I got the heart. What is something that I guess turns the most people away?
Oh, it's different when you're in a race. You're running up on heels. Where your brakes at? Your hands, your legs. You got to stop them. It's scary when you're running up on heels and you can't do nothing. You got to put your horse's nose over the fence to get out, or you got to pray to God the guy beside you, one of your like friends, or you guys are sort of cordial. He's gonna help you, because if not, they're not gonna let you out from that spot. You're gonna fall right on your face. You're gonna clip heels and fall on your face. Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely. I don't think about it until it happens, but the oh shit moments is what locks you in. It's like that little bit of fear you get every now and then locks you in. It's like, okay, this is real.
I do love that like locked in feeling. Like there's not too many things that get me to be like, all right, it's go time, and every sense is working because it has to because you're done. But again, I really appreciate you connecting right here. Anything that you want to say maybe to the world about why I don't know, just it's for Charlestown. Again, I love it. It seems like it's a little bit of a family environment, but why do you love Charlestown? What do you got to say is a great thing about Charlestown, or what do you want to leave the people with knowing about Charlestown?
I grew up down in Charlestown for a good part of my life. It's a It's always done right by me. I really can't complain, honestly, Like it's been home for me, so the people down there treat me well. The OGs know my nickname, Putter. So it's always been good for me, so I can't complain.
Well, they miss you in the Ronnie Brown barn. They say you're the number one person that they miss. So
I love them
again,
people, I love Ronnie. I love them guys. Business is business. That's how it is.
and again, that's an amazing mindset to have. But again, Justin, always cheering for you. Stay safe. Avoid the falls, and try to enjoy that nut to butt. I think is what you say as a phrase.
Not the butt, it's like bumper cars. Whoop, whoop.
We got to use your hands as brakes. I'm never going to forget that. Using your hands as brakes is scary. But Justin, you the man, and good luck with all your mounts this week. Have a good one.
God bless, brother. Be safe.
Later.